On 21st April 2025, the entire world was woken up by the sudden demise of Pope Francis at the Vatican just few hours after holding a mass and delivering a message of hope to the Catholic congregants. The Catholic leader, whose election was characterized by feasts, has been leading the Catholic faithful since 2013. Pope Francis, who has been hailed as a man for the people, going by his priesthood messages, was the first man from outside of Europe to be elected as Pope in more than 1,200 years. He is also the first Supreme Pontiff from South America and the first member of the Jesuits to preside as Bishop of Rome. As the head of the Catholic faithful, Francis broke new ground, and his tenure was characterized by a significant shift, focusing on bridging the gap between the elite administration of the Catholic Church and its believers. Born and named George Mario Bergoglio on December 17, 1936, in Buenos Aires, Argentina, Francis trained as a chemical technician. At his tender age, he was diagnosed with a life-threatening pulmonary illness, a condition that led to a partial lung removal. Later, Bergoglio, as a high school student, received a call to serve God. Having been ordained as a Catholic priest in 1969, Bergoglio undertook a theology course in his native Argentina and thereafter took a spiritual training in Spain. After successfully finishing the training, he went back to Argentina and became the provincial superior of the Society of Jesus after making his final vow to the Jesuit order on April 22, 1973. Between 1980s and 1990s, the Catholic leader served as rector of his alma mater, Facultades de Filosofía de San Miguel. He later went abroad to continue his education, where he held several positions within the institutional church. The late Francis also served as Archbishop of Buenos Aires before being appointed by Pope John Paul II in 2001. Throughout his career, Bergoglio advocated for social justice, community engagement, and solidarity among Christians and non-Christians, and rejecting extravagance. On September 11, 2001, when the talk about his elevation to the papacy was the talk of the town, he only served for 4 years before the death of Pope John II in 2005. When Pope Benedict VII was elected and served for 8 years and later resigned, the College of Cardinals elected Bergoglio as the 266th Pope of the Roman Catholic Church. Bergoglio, who took over the papal seat at the age of 76, chose Francis as his pontificating name in honor of Saint Francis of Assisi. The announcement of the death of Pope Francis by the Vatican now sets the stage for electing the new leader of the Roman Catholic. But how is a new pope chosen? The process begins upon death or resignation of the sitting pope. Cardinals then gather to discuss the church's needs and prepare for conclave. The cardinals then take the oath of secrecy and are sequestered in the Sistine Chapel. Cardinals who are under the age of 80 are the ones allowed to vote in a conclave. They then vote by secret ballot up to 4 rounds. The vote requires a 2/3 majority for the Pope to be elected. After each vote, the ballots are burned, where black smoke signifies no decision, while a white smoke indicates a new pope has been elected. Once elected, the chosen cardinal is asked to accept the role and choose a papal name. The new pope is then proclaimed and blessed. Pope Francis, who died due to stroke and irreversible heart attack, will be buried on Saturday, 26 April 2025 at St. Mary's Major Basilica as per his request, and as opposed to his predecessors who were buried in the Vatican grottos. Several world leaders have confirmed their attendance for the Pope's burial, whose body is currently lying at the St. Peter's Basilica. Among them include US President Donald Trump and his wife Melania Trump, President Javier Milei of Argentina, Brazil President Luiz Inácio da Uza, and wife Janja, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres. Others will also attend include UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer and Prince William, Ireland's President Michael Giggins, Spain King Felipe V, and Queen Letizia, France President Emmanuel Macron, among other leaders. Now, even as preparations for the Pope's burial are on top gear, the questions that most people are asking is who is going to be elected as the next pontiff of the Catholic Church. This will only be known after the elections have been conducted and the white smoke appears.